Say something nice about your hair.
Tony Kornheiser, the side stayed loyal.
And loyal, is that the word we're looking for?
So nobody's going to know what you were laughing at before we did the show. And we had to bust that open.
Yeah,
and no one's going to know about your family history.
No
one's going to know all the good things. Unless somehow we can just bootleg that tape out there for just about
That tape
everyone.
goes away forever.
That would be very funny. Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. We will get to Jimmy Butler returning to practice and yelling at his GM. But we begin today with the controversial issue of how long CC Sabathia was allowed to pitch last night. The veteran Yankee starter used 20 pitches to get out of a bases-loaded jam in the first inning. By the third inning, Sabathia was on his way to 59 pitches when he gave up run-scoring hits to Ian Kinsler and Eduardo Nunez. In just 3 innings, Sabathia gave up 2 walks and 5 hits. Wilbon, did Aaron Boone leave him in too long?
No, not for me, but I don't judge these things the same way that new wave baseball devoted to numbers people judge them. I'm shocked at even when pitchers are completely effective and they come out after 70 pitches and they've given up nothing. So, no, not to me. Now, I thought that the Yankee hitters were primarily responsible for this. Okay, that's another one.
That's right.
But no, I'm going to blame guys like Giancarlo Stanton. Yeah. Now, I'm not going to blame the pitching or the decision to leave him in less or longer. I'm not going to blame that.
I'm not going to bury CC Sabathia for a variety of reasons. He has the second most wins of any active pitcher, one behind Bartolo Colon.
Bartolo Colon still active?
Yes, he is. He's 42 ahead of Justin Verlander, who we like a lot.
Yeah.
69 ahead of your boy John Lester, who you love.
I do.
87 ahead of Max Scherzer, who I love. If I'm Aaron Boone, I think I can reasonably expect CC Sabathia to give me 5 innings, and I'm not yanking him at the end. And by the way, let me say this. When he comes out, it's 3-0. It's not 16-0. It's 3-0. The Yankees have 7 more full at-bat innings. Make it up.
I agree with you, but you know when you can't make it up when Giancarlo Stanton, making $1 billion a week or whatever he's getting, goes out there and leaves 15 runners stranded during the series by himself.
Yeah, but not in this one game.
15 in the series. He didn't do anything last night either. So, no, you can't just look at pitching and say, oh, he's given up 3 runs. We got to get him out of there.
Do you remember when Sabathia was pitching for Milwaukee, and he came to Milwaukee right around the All-Star break?
Yes.
And he went 11-2 in the second half of the season. He pitched Milwaukee into this thing.
Yeah.
But, as Shaq would say, 28's not 38, bro, because it was 10 years ago.
Do the Yankees look at what happened at home, losing those 2 games, huge disappointment, and go and get your boy Bryce Harper? Do they look at their lineup and say, we're flawed? We need a guy like that.
I don't think they're flawed, but that's a great addition.
They're flawed, leaving all those runners on base, losing 2 at home. Of course, the Yankees whined afterward. CC Sabathia ripped in the home plate umpire Angel Hernandez, who doubles most of the time as a punching bag for Major League Baseball players. Let's listen.
I don't think Angel Hernandez should be umping playoff games. He's absolutely terrible. He's terrible behind the plate today. He's terrible at first base. It's amazing that how he's getting a job to pitch and to play to umpire in these playoff games.
Man, Tony Sabathia gave up 3 runs and 5 hits over those 3 innings, as you mentioned last night. Is this complaint legit, or given the result, doesn't it sound just like sour grapes?
You think Sabathia just took a shot at Angel Hernandez, don't you?
Yeah.
It's a big shot.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what Rick Porcello said, because he was the pitcher who Angel Hernandez was also calling balls and strikes for, but he was pitching for Boston. This is a direct quote. Throw the ball over the plate, CC. You got to throw the ball over the white part of the plate, and then you get a strike called. That is a shot. I will say this. It sounds like sour grapes, but CC Sabathia's history with Angel Hernandez is this. In games,
it's a good history.
It's very good.
He's like Bob Gibson with Hernandez behind the plate.
3-1 with 1.45 ERA. So that seems to me to say that it's not quite sour grapes. I mean, he was looking, even in the first batter, he was looking for the high outside strike and getting nothing.
But there was like one pitch that I think everybody would agree was incorrectly called in terms of balls and strikes, Hernandez with Sabathia on the mound. So this is, you know what, when you lose like this, and I understand it's particularly difficult for the Yankees to lose at home to the Red Sox.
2 in a row.
But you know what? If you want to, walk by their locker room playing New York from Sinatra.
No. Don't do it.
If you want to do that, then live with the result when you get your butts humiliated.
Do you know what?
And they were humiliated.
Do you know what team Ian Kinsler plays for now? Plays for Boston.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, Ian Kinsler said, I'm amazed this guy has a job. The other night,
They kill him. They crush
umping
him.
first base, Mike, umping first, not the plate. He had 3 calls reversed at first. That's an awful night. It's an awful night.
He's got a discrimination suit out there, Tony, but also baseball has allowed him to umpire an all-star game, a couple of playoffs last year and now this year.
Pedro Martinez, quote, is on TV the other night. It doesn't matter how many times he sues baseball, he's as bad as there is. Okay? So now we look forward instead of backwards. To take off the glasses, I can read a prompter. The Red Sox leave the Bronx. They go home to face the Houston Astros. Only the Red Sox with 108 wins had more victories than the 103 for Houston. This is the second largest amount of wins for 2 teams facing each other in the playoffs ever. Wilbon, who should be favored?
I would think that this would be called. I'm not a Vegas guy like you.
Just pick
you
a
say
team.
who should, no, because when
Pick
you
a
say who
team.
should be favored, you go with betting thoughts, and I
pick
don't.
a team.
I'm going to go with the team with the starting pitching. And the starting pitching, as far as I'm concerned, I know Boston looked good because if Sale has 1 good start for the Red Sox in the next series, they're going to be tough to beat. If he has 2 good starts, they're going to win the series. But I'm going with Houston because of their starting pitching. And what I see is an advantage.
And that's fair. So you think they should be favored?
Yes.
I think Houston is going to win. I think Boston should be favored.
Why?
Because they won more games, because they scored more runs than anybody in baseball, 79 more than Houston.
Wait a minute, wasn't Houston's run differential better?
I didn't say that,
what's
did
the,
I?
what's
I
the
said
more
scored
important
more
number?
runs. Bigger offense.
So
Bigger
what?
offense.
You get a big offense
They have the
with bad
presumptive
pitching
MVPs.
for
They're going to be
160
Betzer
games.
Martinez. And when Sale was healthy,
When
he
Hale
was
was
the
good.
best
When Sale
pitcher in the
was
league.
good.
So let's get to the second pitcher who's going to start, David Price. Why is he starting? He's
0-9.
What, as a postseason, why is he starting?
Hunch. Managers used to play hunches. They used to not turn to their general managers who had some lackey in the dugout with a computer to tell them who to start. Cora's playing a hunch, I guess.
Would you play a hunch on a
Not
guy
that
who was
one.
0-9 in the
Not
postseason,
that one.
whose team was 0-10 in
You
his
sat
starts?
for 25 years in dugouts with managers, some of whom were in the Hall of Fame, and they sometimes played
Mike.
hunches that seemed out of nowhere. They seemed insane.
And half of them were actually insane.
half of them were
this
right.
guy as a reliever in the postseason is good. This guy against
Yeah, he
Houston
is.
as a reliever last year in the postseason, 6 2/3 inning and no runs.
And you can pitch him almost every game.
So why wouldn't you
playing a
do
hunch.
that?
He's playing a hunch.
No, you start Porcello, you start Uvalde. That's what you do. That's how it
That's
works.
not what he's doing.
That's what I'm doing.
So since he's going to start at least one game,
I wouldn't
don't
do
you
it.
think the Astros will win in that case? Light him up?
Do you listen to the show?
I try not to listen to you.
Did you listen?
Listen to me. Speaking of, we have more than a Jimmy Butler update today. That excites you, doesn't it, Tone?
No.
We got Jimmy Butler news with nobody particularly close to completing a deal for Butler. The Timberwolves All-Star showed up in practice today. Practice, according to Woj, with spirit and even some chippiness. Word is he dominated practice and at one point screamed at GM Scott Layden, quote, "You need me. You can't bleep and win without me," close quote. Succinct. Tony, does this make things better or worse for the T-Wolves?
Short term. Today, tomorrow, short term. Much better. Infinitely better. Jimmy Butler.
Right.
Jimmy Butler wanted to trade Jimmy Butler. So if I'm Scott Layden and he wants to yell at me, I sit in a different room. It's okay.
You sit in the same room so he can't
I
yell
don't
at
care
you.
what he does. I got him on the court. Now, down the road, it is possible that the relationship with Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins will fissure to such a degree that something will have to be done. But short term, my coach is happy, my GM is happy, and I'm getting on the court, and my anger is making me happy.
My position from moment one of this story was you keep Jimmy Butler.
It's the best player you got.
He's the best player on the team.
Yeah.
He might be the second best player in the history of the team after Kevin Garnett. Because after Kevin Garnett left, they didn't get a sniff of the playoffs
That's right.
for forever. They were third in the packed West with Jimmy Butler featured in that lineup.
Kevin Love had
When he
great
got
statistics,
hurt,
but they did not make the playoffs.
They didn't make the playoffs.
They did not.
They are better off. And if he wants to jump on Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins,
Let him.
what that does
Let
is
him.
it stops Tibbs from having to do it. And so, Tony, that's the dynamic. Let me ask you something. You think Jimmy Butler could possibly be as tough on teammates as, say, Kobe Bryant?
He'd be in that category with him
Larry
and Michael Jordan.
Bird?
No, he could be.
Michael Jordan?
He could be, but
no.
But in order to be that kind of
You gotta
person,
win.
you have
You gotta
to win.
win. He hasn't won at
championships.
that level.
He's got a $20 million contract, and you want to say, just play. Just you played with him last year. Just
He's
right.
in practice?
Well, okay. So the next question is, he's at practice because he wants to keep the clock moving on his free agency.
He wants to play.
Okay. Do you think he stays there all year?
Maybe that depends on the team. If they go up to third again in the jam-packed West, and you get some results out of Wiggins and Karl Anthony Towns, even if they're uncomfortable.
Didn't Towns sign a long-term extension recently? Yeah. Okay, so he's staying there.
Okay, so so if you want to get on him, get on him. Larry Bird got on Kevin McHale. Kevin McHale, better or not as good as Karl Anthony Towns?
Slightly better by this much.
So you know, there's no institutional memory when it comes to this stuff.
This last story. Fair and what is not. We're going to show you this James Harden play from last night. Watch this play. We're going to show it to you a lot. Watch it again. This was not called traveling on the floor, even though Harden clearly takes a bunch of steps without dribbling. The NBA says he was gathering. I say, what was he gathering? I say he was walking. Wilbon, what do you say?
It's not a travel. I don't want to see it called a travel, even if it's a travel. The rules were rewritten, I want to say in like 2009 or 10, but they were rewritten relatively recently to allow for this. He's getting off a three-point shot. I understand your boy Rick Barry didn't have that opportunity, but you know what?
Larry Bird didn't have it. Michael Jordan didn't have it.
In the history of your life, Julius Erving. Don't tell me Julius never took the extra step going to the basket.
Never.
Stop.
Never.
Don't tell me Clyde Frazier,
never.
who you love.
Never.
I don't want to hear this.
Never. They played under the rules of basketball at that time.
This is a rule now.
So,
he gathered and he bunny stepped.
This is an Adam Silver favoring the players rule.
This was done under David Stern.
Let me tell you the result of this.
What?
That James Harden now will be able to get off shots anywhere on the court.
Can he get him off in June?
And he will still, in the fourth quarter of an important playoff game, score no points.
I just ask you.
And that's what's going to happen.
Don't show me that. That's a waste of our time. You want Steph Curry getting it blocked, or you want to see him getting it off? You want to see Klay Thompson, who doesn't even do that, by the way. Stop with that. Get that video out of here.
That's a very good video.
It's a waste of time.
It shows the destruction.
They're not going to call
the destruction of the foundation of basketball.
And that you will sit there and say it's okay to call these stupid passes.
How does Patrick Mahomes really feel about Tom Brady? Some surprisingly blunt answers are on the way.
Look at the video while you defend your quarterbacks. Jason Garrett, is he worried about getting fired? We're going to ask a version of him. Role plays next.
Do you want defense or don't you want defense? Are you a defensive guy or not?
If you can hit the quarterback.
No. What about in the NBA?
If you can hit the quarterback.
What about the NBA? Do you want no defense?
Quarterback's the most important position in American sports.
You want defense in the NBA?
Only if it's in the NFL.
Okay, good. That's
an unbelievably
fantastic answer.
If you can hit Tom Brady, you can call